Drew Dalman, Chicago Bears starting center, has abruptly retired, leaving a huge need on the offensive line. We're going to talk about that and a lot more Chicago Bears news and updates right after this. Man. Look, if you're tuning in right now to the Black Bear Podcast, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, the Black Bear Podcast. One word, no spaces. I'm your host, Mark Rod, with my co-host in the building with me, Marcus motherfucking Mixed It. We got a lot to talk about. Mixed It, we talked about it a little bit before we went live. Obviously, Drew Dalman is retiring. I believe he's going to go through with the move. It's unfortunate. Look, we haven't had a good center on this football team since Olin Cruz. We was going through Sam Mustipher, Cody Whitehair, Coleman Shelton last year, like all these Ryan Bates for a little bit. We finally got one. Not only that, but I think when we signed him last year to a 3-year
42.
3-year 42 in the offseason, he was the number one center on the market, and we got him. Ben Johnson played no games and making this offensive line what it was this season, and Caleb was able to enjoy the work that Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson put in. 68 sacks last season, down to 24, no doubt. Drew Dalman was huge in that. I'm not going to just say it. I'll play a clip in a little bit after we give our initial thoughts on it of Caleb Williams literally a couple weeks ago praising this man for about a minute and a half. Out of nowhere, we didn't see this coming. Like I was telling you in the green room, mixed it all day on Twitter. Bears universe, Bears community was waiting and refreshing their pages. Max Crosby trade. You know, the odds went from minus plus 600 to like minus 145, 135. So Bear, all day, I'm telling you, makes like all day. I'm just scrolling, refreshing, and Bears fans is on Twitter, like, and instead of we getting the Max Crosby notification, we get the Drew Dalman notification. There was no whispers, there was no hints at it. Adam Schefter reported it first. There's a couple names that was thrown out there on who the Bears can potentially go after. There's also some salary cap repercussions that that's gonna have on the salary cap. But this is a huge blow. This really is. It's unfortunate because, like I said, the man was so important. Now, he wasn't perfect, but he was a Pro Bowler. He made a Pro Bowl. One of 3 linemen for this team that made the Pro Bowl. I think we was number 1. We had like the number 1 pass protection win rate in the league or something like that. But this, and I don't know what you think, but this is now the number 1 need for the Chicago Bears, in my opinion. What you thinking? Stream around real quick.
Yeah, I think keeping the offensive line intact as much as you can is a big key in that running game. And that running game opened up a lot of stuff for this offense last year. So I think especially with us having questions on whether or not if they're gonna try to move off Swift and all this other stuff, and us having a new running backs coach in Stewsville, like him and Dan Rochar got to be locked in.
Yeah,
and this is like it's starting early because they gotta fill this need now. But yeah, it's definitely something that just came out of nowhere. I was super confused when I seen it at first because like we ain't heard no inklings about it, none of that. But kind of it is what it is. We gotta see what we can do about it now. So
this offseason was gonna be huge for Ryan Poles for a lot of different reasons. But the one thing we thought we had shored up was the offensive line. Now, it's some positives that you can take away from this. One, he did it before free agency. So he didn't wait till some of the names we're gonna talk about in free agency. Some of those guys, he didn't wait until they were off the board. You know what I mean? He actually did it a little early, give Ryan Poles time to and Ben Johnson to replace him. So I respect that. Also, the move is gonna free up. So his cap hit was 14 million, right? It'll free up 10 million because 4 of the 14 was being paid him in a signing bonus, which they can even get 2 million of that 4 million signing bonus back, but I doubt they'll do that. I think they'll give him the entire 4 million, take 10 million and make it do what it do with it. But this for Caleb Williams, and I'll let Caleb Williams speak for himself. Let me just keep sharing this around real quick. I'll let him speak for himself because he called him the Hawk. He was a part of that Avengers unit that he spoke highly of all season. And so let me get Caleb Williams in here real quick before we continue and let him speak on what Drew Dalman meant to him. So we don't gotta sit and speculate, which we all seen it though. We all seen it all season. Let me get Caleb Williams up on the screen on the Rush podcast. So this is how this is recent. This was the Max Crosby podcast. This is what Caleb Williams had to say.
Another one is handling, more.
Pause. Let me set this up quick. The question was, what are some things that you need to get better at so you can become that top dog and your name can be mentioned in a lot of these conversations as the top dog? One, he mentioned the completion percentages, completing some of those passes, giving his wide receivers some better balls. This was the second one. Like he said a lot, not only just what he meant to the team, but what can he do to take some of the load, because he knew Drew Dalman did a lot of checks and stuff like that at the line of scrimmage. Just the pre-snap work. Everybody on this team that talks about this man talks about how extremely smart he is. Y'all heard it from Caleb out of his own mouth. The dude is a beast. The dude is a dog when it comes to. He want to be able to take some of that. Now, well, Caleb, you're gonna have to grow up a little faster now. Even though that was a goal of his, get better at the checks and pre-snap stuff. But he also talked about just now. All right, so instead of just me and Ben, me and Drew gonna have to set up some of these meetings together. We gonna have to do some one-on-ones and get that chemistry down a little better. I don't know if you remember, Mixed It. There's a few times in the season where we was like, what the fuck is going on with Drew Dalman and Caleb Williams connection? Remember the one snap where he snapped it and he held it and he never let it go. There's a bunch of weird shit like that going on in the season. It took them some time to develop that chemistry. So which we're gonna have to when we do bring in a new guy. They gonna have to develop that chemistry too. Now it's good that Caleb is gonna be in year 3 and he's not as young as he was with Drew Dalman, but
right,
it's gonna take some time for that QB center relationship to grow. And it's like that with every quarterback though. It's like that with every single quarterback. Any thoughts on what you just heard from Caleb Williams and how much he was praising? I know before you go, before he could even say it, Max Crosby was he cut him off yeah, Drew Dalman, he's a beast. Yeah, the dude was respected, 27 years old, retiring young. He ain't the only one though.
Yeah, I think they just kind of shed a lot of light on how big of a role he played in that offensive line, not just in pass protection, the run game, but just facilitating the offense and getting rid of what we've seen a lot early in the year in the pre-snap penalties and the miscommunications at the line of scrimmage and before the snap, the pre-play efficiency and stuff like that. So I don't think it's going to be a easy role for them to backfill in terms of somebody having that type of effect on the team and on the offense. But I also think it's going to be interesting to see like what they do at that position and who they try to bring in, because it feels like you kind of spoke on it a little bit, but it feels like Caleb is gonna be flipped a little bit. Like instead of Caleb being the rookie, so to speak, like he's gonna be a veteran on his team now. You know what I'm saying? So how does that affect the quarterback and center relationship and stuff like that? Like how does his expectations now, after having this year under this offense with what he felt like was really good center play, like
Right.
how does his expectations um dictate, if any way, like the new person that comes in and what he expects from them?
So and one of those new people that you can kind of see it going on in the chat already. At least the first one I seen right away was this report from Ian Rappaport on the Bears are hosting. They are hosting free agent center Tyler Biadasz on a visit. Sources said the former Commander starter was recently released and now is available before the frenzy begins. This is just one guy. We know him well. We've seen him in with the Commanders the last couple years we've played them. Seems like we've been playing them every year, but he's the center for he's a young quarterback in Jaden Daniels. So he's used to having to take the load off of a young quarterback's plate and maybe call more protections and slide the O-line a little bit more than a veteran quarterback. Well, he's used to it. So I think this would be decent. And he's obviously been around the league for a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but he's not new to this. So this wouldn't be a bad option either. And then the other name that's being thrown around is Tyler Lindenbaum from Baltimore, I believe. And then Albert Breer tweeted and said the Bears have sniffed around Tyler Linderbaum, and that makes sense now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, as far as him retiring, I don't think it was just like we found out today, the Bears found out today. Like I think this is something like to me, if he's retiring at 27, that tells you it's something medical. You know what I'm saying? Or at least that's the first thing that you think, that it may be something medical. And if it is, and it's like something medical wise to where it could be potential for him to not play no more, that the Bears would be up on that. You know what I'm saying? They probably just ain't said nothing, but I think that probably has some correlation as to why we seen them only really make a move with AO when they cut him, which only, you know what I'm saying, that only affected the cap like $1.2 million or something like that when they released Eamon Ogbongbemiga. But I think that this is something that they was prepared for. You know what I'm saying?
This tells me that first of all, Drew Dalman's dad played in the league, so he's seen the toll that in a long career in the NFL can take on you. He's a center. He's banging his head in the trenches every play, and this tells me that this past season specifically, he took a beating. Drew Dalman took a beating this last season, and I'm sure it affected him in some way. So I believe I saw a quote. I forgot who said it. I wish I could find it. But they quoted, they tweeted it, and it was Drew Dalman in his introductory presser. And he mentioned, like, I want to be able to retire on my own accord, on my own, without being forced out or being gone due to some medical injury or something like that. So 27 this ain't the first time we've seen this mixed. There's a lot of younger players getting to a nice little bag. They're not getting greedy, and they getting out while they can still think straight. You know what I mean? He's a center. He is a center. He's impact after impact after impact every play. I'm not mad at him. Obviously I can't be mad at him, but as a Bears fan, this does suck. Now we got the head coach and we got the quarterback. I do think we will be okay. I do think we'll be fine going forward, but You know how I feel about Ryan Poles. This just puts a lot more strain on you and figuring, because we got to remember, we get that the defense got to get fixed. We got to find a left tackle, and now you got to find a center. That it just adds a lot more stress and a lot more on Ryan Poles' plate. So hopefully he can get it done and find the right guy. Dan Roshar being in this building gives me a shit ton of optimism that they'll be able to fix this, because Dan Roshar don't play. He gonna tell it like it is. He not just gonna be letting Braxton Jones be out there for fucking 3 years and not call him out and say it like it is when the media asks him what's going on over there. Dan Roshar gonna make sure whoever they bring in that he can trust them to play his center on his team. What you saying, J2K? He's J2K saying, I heard the Bears were looking at centers in the draft. They knew a while ago, released the info as soon as Biotis got cut. That is true. It makes sense, though. Like we've been saying, the Bears knew this. They waited, probably wanted to respect him. Drew Dalman a little bit. He probably gave him an okay, like, go ahead and do it. Or like he said, Biotis got cut. So they was like, all right, we've been sniffing around some centers. People going to start getting wind of that. So let's go ahead and drop the news to the public. But just we finally had an O-line. It sucks. It's whoever you bring in is going to take time. It's going to take some time for him and Caleb, unless Caleb and him get going right away. I mean, right away. Benjamin Williams, we all there with you, and it came out of nowhere. Like I said, everybody looking for now. In terms of Max Crosby, do I think this? Look, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this right now. This don't affect Max Crosby. If Ryan Poles was going to pull the trigger, or if he wasn't, trust me. If they want Max Crosby, they gonna go get Max Crosby. If they don't want Max Crosby, this ain't gonna affect it in any way, shape, or form. They'll be fine if they really do want him. If they don't want him, then they got other options and other ways to fix the D-line, so to speak. So it's unfortunate. Now, so do you agree that this moves center to the top need for the Chicago Bears?
Yeah, but I don't think it's something where it's like they don't need to be as aggressive with D tackle or whatever we deem this. Like, I think they still need to have that same aggressive mindset. Like when they try to fix this center problem, which I think they're going to try to be very aggressive about, they still need to attack the other stuff equally as aggressive. Because as much as the center thing is a big thing, I don't think nobody want to go back into next season or go into next season with the same level of play from a defensive standpoint when it comes to like pressuring the quarterback, stuff like that. Like I think all of that stuff still needs to be a high priority. So I definitely do think that they need to take this center thing serious though.
I believe I really do think they'll get one of these free agent guys. Now the money is going to depend a lot on the money, but I think I saw something about Linderbaum being the highest paid center in the league once he signs this deal or something. I forgot who tweeted it, but that's gonna matter. And look, honestly, now you have to spend money on the center. Like you can't bring a rookie in here. Yeah. I mean, you could if, like I said, I trust Dan Roshar and Ben Johnson. If they want to bring a rookie in there, I'm not gonna be mad at them because I trust Dan Roshar with the O-line for sure. If you it ain't too hot here. This actually this warming me up a little bit, but I trust Dan Roshar. What's good, Wes? My boy Chef Wes in the chat. Yeah. I trust Dan Roshar if he were to bring a young guy in here to fill that spot. I believe, the kid will be good enough. But they're gonna spend money. I think they're gonna spend money. And that money they're about to spend on center now, it's gonna hinder maybe a safety or a Trey Hendrickson signing. I don't know. I know it's gonna affect them in some way, shape, or form. And look at my boy J2K with a name right there. What he's saying. Jake Slaughter, Florida would be a good rookie center. You could start day one. So what number what range you thinking he'll go? Second, day two. He's a day two pick guy. That's what I'm thinking, because I haven't heard any centers being top 30, top 32 guys. So that sucks. It's always something with the Bears. Now we might still get our second round picks. I don't know. People know that. I'm sure everybody heard. We might still get our third round picks. I said second. We might still get our third round picks. So, but we might not. So it's always something that hold us back when we need to get going. We finna start taking off. Drew Dalman retire, and we losing some of these assistant coaches. And might not get third round picks, but it is what it is. It sucks. We had to get on here and talk about it. We got more to get into and discuss.
Did we talk about the salary cap impact that it's gonna have? It's freeing up. You said it's freeing up 10 from this year, right?
10. It should free up 10, yes, but his cap hit was 14.
So
4 being the signing bonus.
So how does it work as far as the rest? Because he would have had another year on his contract. Do they have to absorb what's the dead money situation? Because
So it won't be any dead because he retired. But
okay,
I believe next year nothing. I don't think anything on his contract next year was guaranteed.
okay.
I believe this year 10 million was fully guaranteed. If I'm not mistaken, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the 10 was fully guaranteed. I think it was like 9.4 to be exact. And then the 4 million was a signing bonus, which like I said, they could probably take 2 million from that due to the him retiring. But I don't think they'll take the 2 million from him. I don't.
So after cutting AO, we were at what, like -5, something like that.
I can actually pull that up right now. Let me pull it up. I'll do go to over the cap real quick. Just
I was gonna say, because I believe with him retiring, that's with the 10 million that they supposed to have not go against the cap now. I think that puts them above the salary cap, but only by like 5 or 6 million or something like that.
Did the updated that didn't help us much, huh? The updated salary cap that didn't help us too much, did it? You know what I'm saying with the new
Yeah.
new year? Does that affect us? I don't, because over the cap saying we are still in the red 7.4 million. I think this is before the 10 million we're about to get for Drew Dalman.
Okay, because I was gonna say, yeah, we were over. We were definitely over, but we weren't over by much. AO didn't really get us, and AO didn't get us over when he got cut. So, but he was the only person they made a move on, to my knowledge, outside of announcing of people that can look for trades. So,
yeah, it's showing they still got Drew Dalman on the hook for 9.5 million cap hit guaranteed salary. So he won't get that. So that'll put us, let's just say 3 million. It would be 3 million in the black. So that's good. It's a start. They're gonna still make moves. Like I said, this does not affect any big. If they want to go sign Trey Hendrickson, they will.
They still got to make moves to do it.
Yeah, they'll make some moves and make it happen, even if they want to sign Trey Hendrickson. The increased cap was factored in on. I'm looking at over the cap. I'm seeing Drew Dalman still. Oh, you said the increase.
No, he's saying that the salary cap increase.
Okay, that makes sense then. That makes sense. Damn, we still under that by 7.5. Okay. This helps. So now we in the black. That's a start. Like I said, we never were in cap hell. Nobody was worried about the cap for real. We were still gonna get our free agents. We were still gonna restructure, move some stuff around. Let's talk about that real quick. Tremaine Edmonds. We ain't really get to talk about this because this is our first show back in about a week or two. Tremaine Edmonds they look. We'll do right by you. You can go seek a trade. But I'm guessing if they don't find a trade partner, they'll let him, figure out where he want to go. If not, they're gonna find their own trade partner. And if they don't like what they talking, which I'm sure they'll just take whatever, they don't cut him. He's a cut candidate for sure. And I believe that frees up. I got it up right here, unless you know it. Tremaine Edmonds will free up.
Is it 14? Is it 14?
Cap savings 15 million. Yes. 15. So 15 million. Yes. That's huge. He's number one to go. And everybody knew that. That's been the talk. So you're getting 10 million from Dom and you get the 15 from him. Like, that's already 25 million in savings right there. They can go do a lot with 25 million. And he's not gonna be the only one. We heard about Javon Dexter being on the trade block, but you say what?
People getting interest for Javon. I thought that was kind of. I thought it was kind of. Well, I don't think it was that surprising, to be honest.
But so Brad Biggs actually came out and said that was a false report and that they were not fielding any calls for Javon Dexter trade. That's Brad Biggs, per Brad Biggs. So, which makes sense. He's a young player. He's on a young contract. My only thing was with him was people have been saying what he's due, what he'll when he signs a new contract, and I'm like, he ain't getting that much money in Chicago. Like, I'll keep him. We need, first of all, we can't be getting rid of young talent for real, especially on rookie deals. But we don't need to trade him. What can you get for him? What can you really get for Javon Dexter? Like, be for real. I'm not trading him for a 4th round pick. I'll keep him. I'll keep him through his rookie deal. Or whatever. Yeah, Chris Maddock, boy, like, ain't it nice seeing some of the guys in the chat that we ain't really get to talk to in a minute. He said left tackle and now center is